little bit slower because there are mandatory minigames in between each stage. But it does look quite nice, so if you're inclined to check this out casually, then be sure to pick up the Game Boy Color version if you can. The number of times that you have to either throw the frisbee or stomp an enemy on the head varies depending on the number of hit points they have. Oh, what's the guy's name? Yosemite Sam has 3 hit points, and Martha the Martian has 5. So you have to throw the frisbee once at them each, and then stomp on their head once for Yosemite Sam, or twice for Marvin the Martian. And that's going to be coming into play a little bit more later, especially during the boss rush. Here's our first refight. Yosemite Sam is now underwater for whatever reason. That's fine. It's a very tricky ascent right there. So you might have noticed that I abused a little bit of momentum mechanics a moment ago. There are 2 ways that you can gain an inordinate amount of momentum in this game. One is to slide down slopes like I do with Daffy, and the other is to damage boost. The second option being much more difficult to pull off. And it really only applies in the 2nd, 5th, and 7th stages. So I'm going to be sure to point those out to you once we arrive. And you all remember the episode where Daffy Duck fights a giant mechanical fish under the water to retrieve a treasure chest, right? The classic plot. Anyway, that was the perfect fight. It's a little bit risky because the giant fish can spew out mini-fish at random. So if you happen to get bad RNG, you'll end up hitting a mini-fish instead of the boss. That boss has 10 hit points, so it took 2 frisbee shots and 4 head stomps to defeat. Now, Tweety's stage is pretty slow until you damage boost off of a baseball, and now we go twice as fast, pretty much. You have to maintain the speed, though, not let up off the right arrow, the right direction on the D-pad. And you have to not press down, and you have to not run into anything, etc. So it gets pretty intense. This is almost a minute worth of just running to the right and trying to avoid everything. Another thing to note is that you want to avoid as many score items as possible, like these diamonds, because there is a score counter at the end of each stage, which will drain away your time if you're not careful. Oh boy. Right, regain our momentum right there, and here's the end of the stage. We're gonna go ahead and take some intentional damage here, just so we can line up properly for the birdseed, and we're good to go. So here we have our first major deviation in playstyle. It's a side-scroller stage. And pretty much all that you do here, the A button actually does nothing, but the B button shoots. So you can just kind of camp in this corner until 266 on the timer. I like to draw parallels between this stage and the final stage of Super Mario Land, because a lot of the features are very similar. Okay, so for example, we're going to be seeing some bombs explode here. They're proxy mines. They take 8 shots to kill, just like the mines in 4-3 of Super Mario Land. And we have the enemies that bob up and down, and fire behind them, both of which are traits of enemies in Super Mario Land. And they're all worth the same point values as well, 200 and 400, or 800 rather. So the similarities are pretty uncanny, really. For the record, I have run Super Mario Land as well, and my best time in it is a 1336. It's a pretty rough game, but it's fun. And like Super Mario Land, this stage ends with the mashing boss. That was acceptable. Definitely not my best match, but it works. Here's a really nice feature of this game, though. Stage 4 is entirely a bonus stage. So it's actually faster to do absolutely nothing here. So if we have some donations, or you want to plug the stream, then go ahead and do it within the next minute or so.
I totally do have some donations. I have $50 from Arbor Elia. I have to sleep soon, but I've seen some really great runs. Thanks to the runners and everyone who put this event together with a heart. Thank you for the heart, I appreciate that. I have $15 from Conkles to the Max. The Trevor Project is a very, very good cause and glad to help both monetarily and with my 2 runs.
Yeah, so pressing down on the D-pad here allows you to cross your arms, which is pretty cool. Alright.
Yeah, I'm really loving this dance.
Yeah, it's the Taz dance. It's catching on. It only took 26 years, but it's finally catching on.
It does kind of actually look like that one Fortnite dance.
Oh, you're right, though. Oh, no. Alright, so Speedy Gonzalez's stage takes place in a temple for absolutely no reason. This guy has 15 hit points, and so he takes 8 head stomps. That room I just got through just now has a bunch of lava in it, but we don't ever see it because we go too fast. That right there was the momentum boost, like I talked about earlier. Gonna heal up right there. And... got it. This guy really likes to troll, especially during PB attempts. But he treated us pretty nice. He is RNG, and if you're on the ground when he ground pounds like that, he will actually stun you in place, so you can't jump. Right here is going to be a bit of a clip. Let's see if we can get this. It's the only time we use the B button as Speedy Gonzalez. Pretty much just hold right, dance into the wall, and jump a bunch of times, and it pushes us out of that block puzzle. It is pixel perfect, but it's pretty easy to set up. It's not nearly as formidable as it appears. Anyway, remember when Speedy Gonzalez fought Dracula? Yeah, me too. Ideally, you want to get exactly that amount of hits. Okay, that was the perfect fight. I'll gladly take that. Yeah, I guess I should talk a little bit about the record progression for this game. The world record holder has a 1032 in this game, and my best time is a 1044. After like hundreds of attempts of grinding. First place record is absolutely insane. But only 4 people hold sub 11 in this game. And it took them a while. Like, Author Blues was actually the first to get sub 11 in this game, and it took quite a bit of blood, sweat, and tears. So, Roadrunner stage, second to last stage, by the way, is almost entirely made up of a boss fight. Normally, Wile E. Coyote here has a bunch of different attacks he can do, but the quick kill for him involves tanking 2 of them, and pretty much not allowing him to do any other attacks. Also, the B button is a dedicated meep meep button, which is pretty cool.
I always
So
love
just-
games with dedicated buttons just to make a good noise, like dedicated beep buttons in racing games and stuff. It's always
Heck
very
yeah.
good.
Yeah, Yonoid 2 has a dedicated dab button, and it's analog too, which is pretty nice.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
The height of novelty. Alright, so Bugs Bunny stage functions similarly to Daffy's stage with the Frisbee. And it takes place in the same stage as Speedy Gonzalez does. So, you know, what sense that makes, I don't know. But here's the boss rush. The mini boss rush. That's basically all the mini fights we've had so far, plus a couple more. So far, so good. This is perfect. Alright, I'm gonna try a new strat for this guy, which involves a little bit of trickery. Oh man, I messed it up. There we go, not too bad though. Moving on. So yeah, those two guys, the bone chicken and the cool spot dude, appear nowhere else in the game. I have my suspicions as to why that's the case, but I'll explain after this room, which is the last place we use momentum in the run, just like that. And welcome to the final fight. Elmer Fudd here is very, very difficult to manipulate. He's pseudo-random, especially in the second phase, which really sucks because in the second phase he actually jumps faster than you can move in the air. Fortunately, if you trap him over here in the corner in the right, he's free. Get ready on time. Time. Whew. That was actually a nearly perfect run. I think the only thing that really got messed up was the Tweety stage.
Congratulations, then.
Yeah, that felt good.
Nice, that's awesome.
Also, this noise is lovely, by the way. This is what happens when you beat a stage too fast and you have way too much time to count down at the end.
Yeah.
So now we get to watch the demo reel play the game absolutely horrendously to make up for my skills.
I always
And
love
one-
that.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's
And
like,
and we're gonna have the world's slowest credit scroll as well.
yeah. I always love watching the demo reel whenever, like, a world record runner is, like, you know, is taking, like, a bio break or something like that.
Yeah, same.
And you see the game being played incredibly poorly by the game demo.
Mhm.
It's very
It's
good.
clearly a game dev who's trying to pretend it's his first time playing.
Yeah, right. Like, well, what do I go do if I go over here? Anyway, so I think we'll be right back, and we'll get WinnerBit's next run going for you. So stay tuned.
And if we can just wait for like 30 seconds here, I'm going to go ahead and show the credits graphic and explain
Yes.
real quickly why I think those two mini bosses don't appear anywhere else in the game.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's right here. You see, all the characters that we saw in the game are here, and Foghorn Leghorn and Pepe Le Pew also appear for some reason. They don't
Nice.
appear in the game either. So what I suspect is that they either ran out of money, time, or space on cartridge to include the extra stage or two that they had planned. So my assumption is that Pepe Le Pew and Foghorn Leghorn were supposed to be featured in those stages, as well as the Bone Chicken and the Cool Spot. But that's just a theory, a game theory.
Game theory.
For watching.
Well, mull that over while we get the next run going. Thanks, y'all. And
Stay tuned.
yeah, stay tuned.
Hello, everybody. I just want to remind you that you are watching Power Up Pride Presents Winter Pride 2018. Thank you for being here. I know it is ridiculously early on the East Coast.